We all know basketball is a team sport, but who can resist a juicy matchup between two titans of the game? The kind of clash we used to see between two dominant big men in days gone by. So, when Giannis Antetokounmpo faced off with Joel Embiid, we got playoff intensity, an epic game, and another edition of Dame Time. But let's examine what happened when these two big men squared off against each other to figure out who won the matchup. While these two didn't guard each other all game, I pulled all the moments when they did find themselves as dance partners. Embiid comes over to help after Giannis knocked Tucker out of the way. Smart pass to Embiid's man, but credit Tobias and Joel for recovering to force the miss. We'll see a lot of this type of action, rolling to the hoop and defensive rotations. Giannis does a nice job to sidestep Embiid and good touch to bank the runner in. Another roll to the hoop gets Giannis point blank under the rim with Embiid rotating over. He establishes his left foot as a pivot. It does move a bit, but a double pump fake gets Embiid in the air and Giannis draws a foul. We finally get a play on the other end as Embiid faces up Lopez and gets right to the rim. Forced to help, Giannis steps over there, completely whacks Embiid on the arm, but somehow avoids getting called for the foul. Towards the end of the first, Nick Nurse decided to put Embiid on Giannis and Harris on Portis. A double cross screen didn't get separation for Giannis, and on the face-up, Embiid does a great job to cut him off along the baseline. When Embiid pulls the chair, Giannis loses his balance and control the ball slightly. Now the 3-second count is an extra defender, and he gets stripped into a turnover. They run a ball screen for him, and when Giannis rejects it to go to his right, again Embiid is there to cut him off. The Bucks do have flow to their offense, as the kickout allows Cam Payne to attack a closeout into a floater without a challenge from Embiid. This time, Giannis uses the screen and it forces a switch. They get a decent look on the good decision from Giannis, and Embiid avoids the foul just enough to encourage the miss. This was exciting. Embiid going at Giannis in the open court, and he creates a middle drive for Oubre. Problem is, the kick to the corner was right there for him, but instead Giannis pressures him into a bad turnover trying to throw it blind into traffic. Here's another roll off a horn set, with Embiid leaving Lopez above the three-point line to pick up the rolling Giannis, who seems startled by the help and travels while trying to initiate contact. Embiid is too good for that kind of move. I like that the Bucks want to find ball screens for Giannis and spread their shooters around him. He steps through two defenders to encounter Embiid. The best play would be to kick out to Lopez or Connaughton wide open, but he challenges Embiid, who uses verticality to legally contest this wild double pump awkward shot. Notice how Embiid does lower the right arm a little bit, but then gets it back to vertical to avoid any contact with Giannis' arm. Another roll to the rim finds Embiid in the paint waiting for him. Giannis lowers his shoulder to initiate contact. Embiid kind of gets out of the way, but is now not in legal guarding position. The right hand pulls him down for good measure, earning Giannis free throws. Dame is such a threat off the ball screen that defenses will have to hold Giannis' man at the three-point line, meaning the Bucks will get Giannis downhill a lot this season. With Embiid ignoring Lopez and the refs ignoring the slight travel to start this move, Giannis again lowers his shoulder into Embiid, who reaches in, and somehow Giannis turns the ball over off his face for a bad turnover. The Bucks use Beasley as a ball handler, with Dame spotting up on the left side to open up the roll for Giannis. That gets him deep post position on Embiid. He travels to start by sliding the pivot foot before the ball leaves his hand, then tries the jump hook from the dotted line over a good contest from Embiid, and he can't get the ball to roll in. This time, Embiid is guarding Giannis from the start, and when they can't get anything out of the high horn set, Giannis flashes to the elbow. Embiid gives him a cushion to dare him to shoot it, and Giannis takes him up on that offer and nails it in his face. The Sixers and Bucks are going to play 2 more times this year, and you're going to want to see these two clash in person, so you must get SeatGeek, the best app to find tickets to any sporting event, concert, or the theater. With just a few taps, SeatGeek will scour the internet for the best deals out there, giving them a grade so you know what kind of value you're getting. They're rated #1 on Trustpilot amongst all major ticketers, so you can feel secure that your tickets are legit. Best of all, you can save $20 off your first purchase by using my code BBALL. So head over to SeatGeek now, and you can enjoy all your favorite NBA teams live and in person. We then get Giannis on Embiid for the first time in the game, and while Embiid was looking to exploit the mismatch down low, Giannis embarrasses him with his steal and needless collapse to the floor, extending the Bucks' lead to 6 with a transition dunk. The next time down, Embiid wants to settle the score, but he lowers his shoulder into Giannis to push him out of the way. Giannis, for his part, is clamping down on Embiid's right arm, which causes both to crumple to the floor, but the first infraction was the offensive foul and the ball is turned over. The Sixers try again down low with this marquee matchup, and Giannis turns and runs perfectly to prevent an opening to the baseline in the spin move. Dame is spot on with his sink and fill. The pass was thrown too hard and it was before the collision here, so it becomes another Embiid turnover. Here was a little flying shoulder screen into Embiid's chest that enables Beasley to get all the way to the rim, where Giannis could clean up the missed shot and earn more free throws. Midway through the third, we get an isolation by Embiid, and Giannis is perfect on his positioning up until the time he reaches in at the end and gives Embiid free throws. Here, the Bucks use Dame to draw Embiid away from Giannis on the handoff into step-up screen, and when the ball finally swings back to the top, you can see Embiid daring him to shoot a shot he's never been efficient at. On to the fourth, Embiid rotates over on the roll where Giannis has a runaway to get going, taking off from the dotted line for a left-handed shot, and Embiid jumps backwards to avoid the contact while contesting this and adding the Mutombo finger wave for extra effect. With Lopez screening for him for the first time all game, it allows Embiid to switch onto Giannis and give him a big cushion to dare him to shoot the mid-range shot, which he bricks. Again, Dame's gravity gets a roll into space for Giannis, with Embiid there to switch. Deep in the fourth, this is a tough matchup for the refs to deal with. Embiid gets low and rotates his trunk to avoid Giannis' shoulder. On the shot, Giannis is clearly leaning in to initiate contact, and while Embiid is entitled to his spot, it feels like there could have been a foul here, but the awkward nature of the two-handed toss might have contributed to the refs not calling anything. This should have been moot with the easy putback, but Giannis airballs the one-footer. And to make matters worse, he wasn't called for a violation by being the first to touch his own airball. This should have been an easy call, and it directly led to the Dame 3 that gave the Bucks a lead they never relinquished the rest of the game. The Sixers figured if rolling their big man was working well for the Bucks, well, we should try it. Giannis rotates, there are wide open shooters in either corner, but Embiid flings himself in there looking for a call that he erroneously gets, as the replay showed amazingly that there wasn't quite enough contact by Lopez to merit a foul. Bucks ball. We got what we came for on this possession, Giannis on Embiid. And while this obvious call wasn't made to start the move, you can see Giannis making illegal contact on both the front and back of Embiid. He sticks his arm in the cookie jar later, and Embiid quick swipes his arms up to draw the foul. On the pop, Giannis won't take Embiid's bait by shooting it, instead attacking into the paint. But he tends to lack the touch around the rim that he needs when going from a strong, aggressive move to a soft release of the shot. And on the other end, the Sixers immediately come down the court and find an opening when Maxey turns the corner before pocket passing to the rolling Embiid. Excellent job by Giannis to cut him off, but Embiid turns this into a little 10-foot turnaround to cut the lead to 4. We get more interlude between these two when Embiid catches Crowder in bad position, forcing Giannis to help from one pass away, leading to a wide-open three-pointer. Of course, the Bucks brought Dame in to be the man in crunch time, and he starts out the season continuing to do what he's done his entire career, make crucial game-winning plays down the stretch, and this team will be no different for him. The individual stats were remarkably similar, right down to the poor free throw shooting and turnovers. If you look at some advanced stats, we see that Embiid did have a better impact overall on the game while he was on the court compared to Giannis. But in the end, it was the Bucks who pulled it out. Had the Sixers had James Harden on the floor, the result might have been different, but the gauntlet has been dropped between these two, and I cannot wait to see round 2.